And this is something that really bothers me in the Bitcoin space, is that so many Bitcoiners are constantly claiming about we're better than them and we be better. And like they have this idea of we're this new kind of human and we're better. We have the moral high ground. Not when you do shit like this. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. You have to go out of your way to be a better person. So I will include a link to Robin's link here to this tweet in the description. So we've got that here over in the notes. And then also a link to the full video here that you can actually watch on YouTube. And the primary thing that they're covering here is that, like, how money works, etc.
It's mostly how fiat money works.
Yeah.
And they use the example of the U.S. monetary system and all of its faults. It's
just like a house of cards built on a house of cards, which has a foundation of hopes and dreams.
Yeah, and it's explained quite well. They break it down. They have visuals.
And the main thing is that they're kind of making the argument from what you told me that gold and silver is a good thing.
Yeah, if you watch the larger series, that's a big part of what they do. I don't know exactly what the company is about, but I believe they're part of it is investment in gold and silver.
Gotcha. Okay.
But as time has gone on, given that this series is 10 years old, they've started to look at other options. They mentioned Bitcoin in another video, as well as a few other things.
Okay, and we'll have a link to Mike Maloney's Hidden Secrets of Money smash hit docuseries and the True Meaning of Money, where we've got the whole thing here linked, and we'll put that in the description down below. So if you're ever making content, if you're ever tweeting stuff, do as best as you can to share where the original stuff came from. And if you ever do something like this, where it could be construed that you are the one that did it, ooh, go fuck yourself. Find the biggest dragon dildo that does not fit up your ass and just sit on it as fast as possible. That's my advice to you. Just ram it up your asshole until there's tearing. Like, go fuck yourself. What is this bullshit? Be better.
Had I not noticed that the edits were poorly done in between the different segments, I may not have known that this was part of something larger, and I may not have even thought to search.
Yeah. There's multiple times where you can hear like the voice kind of cut out and then lead back in. It's just like, oh, what's going on here? So if you're paying even the slightest bit of attention, you'll go, this seems like it's an abridged version, an edited version of something longer. Yeah. I don't understand why that's hard to figure out. Like, come on. I know I fuck up. I'm by no means claiming that I'm a perfect person, and I hope that somebody calls me out in even more caustic of a way than I just did here if I fuck up. Like, I want to be called out for things where I screw up, but at least I try. At least I try. And if I get called out or like, why didn't you share the full thing? I don't go around like, oh, that's a great video. I found this other version on Reddit. Like, yeah, I fucked up. My bad. Here's the link that I found it on. Like, come on. Oh, like, what? Jesus Christ, what is this bullshit? I'd love to have you on my podcast. Really? After not linking my video, why would Mike go on his podcast? If it was me, if I was Mike, I'd show up and be like, hey, so why didn't you link my video? Well, I didn't know. That's not a good reason. You could have done some research. You knew you didn't make it. You saw that it was edited. If you have any amount of brain cells in your head, you could have at least picked up on that.
And didn't even think to look to see if Mike Maloney was on Twitter. That's interesting. Or didn't tag him. I don't know how Mike Maloney found this.
Okay, come on. So there's a couple of interesting things happening in, how do I say this?
The world?
Yeah, but I guess, current trend. That's not a current trend. It's just,
it's mainstream media.
Sure, there you go. Mainstream media. The first one is the Israel-Palestine stuff going on that's been going on since forever, but is more going on now. It's more on now than typical going on.
Since October, when things started to
so fucking
get
stupid.
Spicy.
And then there's this whole nonsense with Kendrick Lamar and Drake, and I'm always amused when there's some kind of hip hop beef, because the part that really amuses me is other people talking about it as though it matters at all. It matters clearly to some degree to Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I don't know why. I don't really know what's going on. I could not possibly care less about what people that are worth multiple millions of dollars, why they're upset at each other enough to make songs about it, which is certainly just making them more money. Like, I don't know how many views these different songs have, but unquestionably millions at this point, because they've got fans and then people are talking about it, and all the hubbub that this stuff generates money for somebody along the line. Certainly Drake and Kendrick have probably sold albums because of this. So they're making money to just air out their grievances with each other. I don't care what their grievances are. I could not possibly care less. But the amusing thing to me is that just like Kendrick and Lamar, Kendrick and Lamar, that would be a fun name. Kendrick Lamar and Drake, people talking about whatever is going on between them is quite similar to what's going on with Palestine and Israel. Because I've never been to the Middle East. I have no fucking clue. And I would venture to guess that the vast majority of people talking about things going on over in that part of the world have also never been there. What do you think of all the? Where's that? There it is. This map. Here we go. This is perfect right here. Bum bum bum. Boo boo boo. Ba ba ba. Got to switch over. Okay, here's a map. All the black dots are where there have been college campuses with reported encampments or sit-ins related to the war in Gaza. All right. And then the orange ones, I like how they look, you dumb fucks. This is Utah. I know you mostly know these states. This is California. And you might know that New York is somewhere over in this part of the U.S. over on the right-hand side. But this is a place called Utah, you stupid fucks. And this one over here, this is Madison, Wisconsin, you dumbasses. This is that Texas place that you hear about. All right. Anyhow, the orange ones is apparently where there have been police arrests. How many of the people involved in all of these little blips, let's say there's at least 10 per blip. It's certainly at least 10 per blip. So we've got, does it say how many universities are on here? At least 59 college campuses. So there's at least 600 people these dots represent. It's probably more than 10 times that. But let's just be super conservative and say that this represents 1,000 people. Nice round number there. How many individuals of those 1,000 have been to Palestine, have been to Israel, know what it's like to grow up in that region on either side, know exactly firsthand account because they've spent years there understanding what it's like to be in the shoes of somebody that is Israeli or Palestinian. How many? Is it 10%? It can't be 10%. It's not 10%. Is it even 1%? Are there, if that's 1,000 people, are there even 10 of them that can claim, yeah, I spent the majority of my life in that part of the region and then somehow got myself to the United States, family, friend, whatever, however it happened, shaking my ass on TikTok and then coming here because I made enough money doing that. I don't know how it got approved and allowed, whatever the fuck. Now I'm in college, shaking my ass at a bikini barista stand so I can pay for this nonsense and then go and complain about it. Good stuff. How many of them? I don't think it's many. Is it any? Is it any? I'm guessing it's some. It's got to be some. I'm guessing it's more than zero, but it's not half. It's not even a quarter. Point here is that most of these people are just looking for an excuse to do something. They're bored. They've got nothing else to do. They just spent the last 4 years in college. If they went to college, if they started their college time in 2020, right in the midst of the pandemic and the wackiness going on throughout the United States, the whole world, and they're like, oh, I don't know what it's like to be a human. I just turned 18 and now I'm off to college where my mom and dad are paying for all this. What do I do? I don't know what you do. But now they figured out something to do. But why now? That's my question. Why now? What happened? More than this. Okay, right here it says more than 2,900 people have been arrested. Okay, and there's a lot more black dots than there are orange ones. So this has got to be like 10,000 people. Have even 100 of them spent their lives, over the majority of their lives? I'm not saying that you visited. How many have even done that though? How many? Most of these people, the vast majority of them, I would bet, are just getting their news from something, and they don't go, oh, wait, hang on a second. Hold on. Maybe this news source has a reason to be sharing this. Maybe this news source has a reason to be telling me these things. And you can see it all over the place. The guy, the Chris Pan, I think his name was, that gave the little Bitcoin speech at the University of Ohio, is that I encourage you to keep an open mind, and he got booed, absolutely routinely booed. People don't go to college to learn how to think. They go there so they can be told what to think. They go there to join a club. That's what going to college is. Now, I'm not saying that every single person that goes to college, you should not read that into this, doesn't learn how to think. Some do, but they're the outliers. Most people are dumber than dog shit. They don't want to think. It's hard to think. It's difficult. It takes time. You actually have to go, well, why this and why that? And how come this person would be saying that? And you have to look at things from both sides. How many of the people doing these encampments on whatever side have taken the time to go, hey, I want to talk to this other side. I want to understand what it is that they're talking about. But the the amusing thing about that in this instance would be like me going to some random person on the stream like, so, yo, Kendrick Lamar and Drake, let's break it down. And then the random guy be like, oh, yeah. I'm so glad you wanted to talk to me about this. So I really think Drake. And I'm over here. Honestly, though, Kendrick Lamar. Drake, Canadian, did wheelchair. Yeah. True. Kendrick Lamar, Wakanda, Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman. Like, oh, okay.
It's really a popularity contest. It's which musician do you like more?
Who, like, it doesn't mean anything. It's so pointless. Like, these people like, oh, Israel's this and Palestine that and da. Like, what are you doing? Just shut the fuck up. Put the tent away. Pack up the grilled cheese sandwiches and the cookies and the Kool-Aid and whatever else you're doing. Store the dragon dildos and go back to class. Like, stop. Cut it out. Is that the... Oh, yeah. I'm not going to cover the speech. You've probably seen it. Like, sometimes these things... It's so funny to me when people post things on Twitter as though everybody else on Bitcoin Twitter hasn't already posted this. Like, I got to retweet it too. I got to share this. That's a guy at the college talking about Bitcoin. Did everybody say this yet? Yeah, everybody saw it. Everybody saw it 30 fucking times because anybody that has a Twitter account... Oh, sorry. It felt loosey-goosey. Was it making noises?
Yeah, every time you touch it.
Whoops. All right, here's a real gem of a news story. Oh, God. All right, I'm going to scroll down so you don't see the woman's face because, well, how do I block it? Because I don't want you to hate on her because I don't... Whatever. I'm pretty sure... Yeah, it's Stutterstock. She has no idea that she's being... Shutterstock. She has no idea... Stuttercock. She has no idea that she's being the one that is being used as the face for this thing. Anyhow, she probably has no relation to the story other than being the picture here. We're seeing the writing on the wall. Baby boomers are stuck in place. Oh, no. Look, the baby boomers are complaining again? Oh, no. The poor baby boomers. Those are babies. Those are big old babies. What a perfect name for a generation that is the biggest fucking complainers and whiners that has ever existed. Can't afford to move out of their homes. Oh, what needs to change? Susan Apple and Keith Irwin purchased a 4-bedroom home in Lebanon, New Hampshire, 24 years ago, and are now looking to downsize in their golden years. Appel finds it harder to climb the stairs. I wish I had stairs to climb, you fucking cunt. While Irwin is tired of shoveling the snow and doing yard work. Do you know how many people in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s even would love to have a yard to work on. Love to have a yard to work on. And these people are complaining that they've got a yard. How do you take such a gift and turn it into something that you're complaining about? We have to climb the stairs to go to our fourth bedroom when the guests are here, and the pull-out bed it's 300 square feet over there, and oh, we have so much space. Like,
leave it to boomers.
What? How? Oh, it's truly impressive. We have too much money. We don't know what to do with it. The couple estimated that their current house is only worth $700,000 piddly dollars. Oh, it's only $700,000. We traded 3 chopsticks and a turd for this place, and it's only appreciated $700,000. Our friends bought one for 1 chopstick and half a turd, and they got $1.5 million for it. How do we know that the community builders were going to build right here and put the park there and reduce our value? We didn't know. Had hoped to snag a smaller place. They're looking for a 2-bedroom condo with a den. It's got to have a den. That's really important. We've got to have a den. Can't find one within their budget. We're very grateful to live in this lovely place and have paid off our house, Apel said. It never occurred to us that it didn't give us the ability to move out of it. How? Holy shit. And this is a direct quote, apparently by Sarah Lewis. How do you do that? It's a fucking magic trick, mastery of complaining. We are very grateful to live in this lovely place and have paid off our house. How can you fucking possibly turn that into a negative? How do you do it? It's like, I'm married to one of Maxim's top 5 hottest women on the planet. Okay. She's the most intelligent female that I've ever interacted with. She's stunning. She's incredible. 0 complaints in that regard, except she uses Colgate toothpaste. I can't fucking believe it. She doesn't use Tom's. She uses Colgate. I can't believe I married this woman. It's like, how do you turn this into a negative?
Well, I don't know. I think a better parallel would be, she's great, she's wonderful, this wife of yours, but she doesn't allow you to see anybody else. Like, being married to her means you can't be married to anybody else.
Yeah, now that I'm married to her, I can't date 5s. You know what it means being married to this supermodel? I can't go out with 5s anymore. How? What? Yeah, that is better. It never occurred to us that having a home worth $700,000 would mean that we're stuck here. We can't move out of it. Older Americans can't afford to leave their homes. A Redfin survey of older American homeowners aged 60 and over revealed that more than 3/4 of this group will consider staying in their current home as they age, or are already aging in place. About 27% of these respondents, who aren't even planning to sell their home anytime soon, said it's because their home is completely or almost paid off. Well, 21% said they stay put because the home prices are now too high. Doesn't that mean that your home price is now too high as well?
You would think.
Are older Americans aging in place or stuck in place? Question Lena Zhu, a research economist at the Urban Institute, according to the Times. Do we need to rethink the so-called American dream? It worked for previous generations, but is it still working today? Wait a second. So it worked for the baby boomers, and it's still working really fucking well for the baby boomers. Do we need to reevaluate things to see if it's still working for the baby boomers? Yes, the answer is yes. It's working great for them. Appel told the Times, one unit she and her husband recently saw cost $950,000. Can you believe it? $950,000, and needed some work, while even tiny shoe boxes were selling for $600,000.
Doesn't mention where these are.
Doesn't mention where. Does not mention where. Doesn't mention here that they want to get this in downtown Manhattan so they can go to Broadway plays because they are living off of their pension funds and their Social Security that they're pulling in $5,000 a piece each month. No, I don't know if that's true. I'm making that up. Some older homeowners, like, this is just, who needs to change? I don't know. What is this? Some experts suggest policy changes could help older Americans move out of their large homes. Well, oh yes, there we go. Policy changes. That's what we need. We need lawmakers to change things so that they can. This is insane. People want to be able to age in their communities, but there are very few options available for people who don't want to do that, but want to downsize. Some neighborhoods have zoning restrictions that only allow for single-family homes, but cities and states could change these rules to allow for. Oh my God, this is. I don't understand how. And it's not everyone. I understand it's not every single boomer, but it's so many. It is so many that you see these stories about complaining that they can't move out of this place and can't move out of that place. I guarantee you, I 100% guarantee you that you can sell your $700,000 home and move into a condo with a den in a city that you might not want to live in, or a city that's in a different place. So it's not that you can't do that or that people can't do this stuff. It's that you might not be able to do it exactly the way that you want to. If you're trying to move out of New Lebanon or Lebanon, New Hampshire into Manhattan or Long Island or the Bay Area, San Francisco or San Diego, maybe it is hard to find a place to live, but I just don't understand how you can complain about that. I don't get it. I really don't get it. All right, we're gonna play a little game here. It's called Guess What the Movie Is About. I've seen Alien. I've seen Dodgeball. I've never seen Red. I've seen Terminator. We're gonna find a movie here that I definitely haven't seen, and ideally know almost nothing. The less, the better. And then I'm going to tell you what I think it's about based off of who's in it and what I see here. Okay, I think this is about like World War II, The Imitation Game. Playing the game? No, I'm just going. I'm trying to find one that I have like not even heard of. And it's got Paul Giamatti in it. I think it's his dad. I don't know why I know that. Chuck and Larry. I now pronounce. Okay. I don't know anything about this movie besides it's got Adam Sandler and it's not Kevin Hart.
Kevin James.
Kevin James. Okay. So it's a comedy movie. It says that right here. I'm guessing, okay, he's a firefighter. All right. So I'm guessing there's a lot of gay jokes in this. And 2007, yeah.
It was still funny to be gay.
Yeah, and I think it was around the time that it was kind of in the talk. So I'm imagining it's kind of like a positive twist, sort of, but still kind of poking fun at it.
Yeah, I believe that's still before gay marriage was legalized, because that didn't happen until Obama was in office.
Yeah, 2008. Okay, so before you pull it up, here's what I think the movie is about. I see that Kevin James is wearing a firefighter's hat. So I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Okay, I don't think that they are gay. I don't think that they're gay in the movie. I think that for some reason they have to pretend to be gay. It's maybe okay. Here's what I think it is. They're buddies. They've known each other for a while, and Kevin James wants to become the new captain. But for some reason, people don't like him. But they know that gay is in the news. Gay is kind of like he sees it as his hot ticket to get approval, and or maybe it's something to. It's either that he wants to become like captain or sergeant or something. He wants a promotion and he feels like he's being discriminated against, or they don't like him. He's just a slob, and he's like, oh, I found this angle. They won't be able to discriminate against me if I'm gay, and so I'm gonna marry my buddy Adam Sandler. He's my best friend, and we live together anyways, so it won't change anything. It doesn't matter. We're just gonna be best friends. We'll just have a marriage certificate, so it won't really mean anything, and we'll get some extra benefits from being married. It's either he wants a promotion or maybe he's going to be fired. They're going to get rid of him. Like he's a slob. He's a terrible firefighter. And so he thinks that, all right, so link me that. Okay. So here is what it's actually about. So it's either that he wants a promotion or something negative is going to happen. And then so he's going to live with his buddy and they're going to pretend to be married, or they're going to be married and they're going to pretend that that they're actually gay to get some sort of benefit. All right, plot. Veteran New York firefighters Chuck Levine and womanizing bachelor Larry Valentine. Okay, so they are both firefighters. Got that part wrong. A widowed father are the pride of their Brooklyn firehouse. During a sweep of a burned building, a segment of floor collapses on Chuck, but after Larry rescues him from the debris, Chuck vows to repay him however possible. Experiencing an epiphany from the incident, Larry tries to increase his life insurance policy, but discovers that a lapse in the paperwork after his wife Paula's death 1 year earlier prevents him from naming his children, Eric and Tony, as primary beneficiaries. The insurance company representative suggests that Larry find a new spouse so that he can name them as beneficiary. Inspired by the newspaper article about domestic partnerships, Larry asks Chuck to enter a civil union with him. Okay, so it is, there's some bamboozling stuff here. All right. I didn't get it right about the insurance stuff, but I definitely got the bamboozling part right.
Yeah, further up initially it says Chuck and Larry decide to get married or something so that one of their children can receive health care.
Okay. Right here on YouTube it says, Adam Sandler and Kevin James star as best friends and fellow firefighters Chuck and Larry, the pride of their Brooklyn fire station. Chuck owes Larry for saving his life. Larry calls in that favor big time by asking Chuck to pose as his domestic partner so his kids will get his pension. But when a fact-checking bureaucrat becomes suspicious, the two straight guys are forced to improvise as love-struck newlyweds. Jessica Biel, Ving Rhames, Dan Aykroyd, and co-star in this hilarious comedy. It seems like pretty simple to solve that. The investigator comes over and you know that whoever it is, maybe it's Jessica Biel, comes over, Ving Rhames, I don't know who's the investigator is, and you just, one of them has the other's cock in his mouth. It's just like, it cock off, like, oh, god damn, shut the door. All right, yep, there it is, problem solved. Guess you guys are full-on homosexuals.
Oh, we really came full circle with the cock in the mouth.
Yeah, maybe we'll win there. I don't really have anything else that I can think of to hit this week. Is there anything that we had?
There were a number of stories. There's something that came up. I didn't know if you want to talk about it.
Oh, okay, what?
Social Security's supposedly going to end in 2035, according to a number of headlines.
Yeah, well, okay. So here's the thing with that is maybe as things stand, but all they have to do is print more money and go, here you go, and just keep on funding it. So I don't see that being, I mean, it's a big problem because of the inflationary pressures. Sure, it's a huge issue because of that, but I don't know that it'll actually run out.
I don't understand how it could run out when people who have been a part of that system, I thought it was supposed to work out to where as you're working, you pay into Social Security, and then depending on how much you paid throughout your lifetime, you get X amount back.
I don't know exactly how much you get, but I think it's absolute nonsense that some people get it at all. Like, I imagine there are people like Bill Gates, if he's old enough, I don't know how old he is probably collecting a Social Security check. It should not be for everybody and anybody over, once you hit this age, just an automatic thing. There should be some things like some thresholds. Are you working? How much are you worth? What is your, if you're Bill Gates, you should not be collecting a cent from Social Security. That's insanity. It just truly nuts. Like, I've seen people in different retail jobs that I've had that they have an EBT card in their wallet. I know what it looks like. I've had one in the past. And so I see it. And then they're purchasing hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. And then they go out and get into their brand new Tesla or Lexus. Like, I don't think you need an EBT card. What is going on here?
Yeah, or you can see people going to and from the food bank who are wearing nice clothes and they show up in a nice car and you're wondering,
They pull up in
How?
their Porsche SUV and they put in their stuff in there. Yeah, yeah. A lot of the people that are lined up at the food bank are just taking advantage of free food. And a lot of the food that I've seen, it depends on the food bank, but at least in certain areas of the country, that food would just be thrown out. And so I would prefer the food to be eaten than thrown out. So, hey, thumbs up to food being used, but you're also taking a line or taking a spot in a line of people that actually are struggling to make ends meet and people that really could use that food. And you're also reducing the choices of the people that really need that food. So I think that there's zero check or anything. You just show up to the food bank and go, hey, I live in this address, I live in the correct zip code, I get free food. I think that's bullshit. I do not think that's how it should work. There's so many programs like that are absolutely abused into oblivion, and it makes others. It kind of ties back into what I was saying about this fucking tweet that pissed me off so much. Like, people just being shitty, just being fucking shitty, and they're not thinking about their actions and what it means for other people. I don't. Here's another one right here. Shire Hoddle posted this. He said, "You never know who is being paid by who here. This one is being paid. Vivek for real is being paid by Bitcoin Magazine and 5 other companies. None of it disclosed in his bio. Be careful out there, homies." Okay, first off, and he does cover this, and we'll go through the whole thing here in a second. It is not a requirement that Vivek say who he works for. It's not. You don't have to. But it is a little weird, and it does feel a little bit slimy if it comes out down the road that you've been working for these different companies, and then it casts a different light on everything that you've said in that space. For example, if you knew that I had a large stake in a dragon dildo company, Bad Dragon, for example, you would go, oh, well, no wonder he brings them up every fucking podcast. No wonder he talks about ramming them up asses and sucking cocks. Like, he has a clear stake in that company, so he's trying to get people to think about dragon dildos so that they'll go and buy some. If they buy some, value in the company goes up. Well, no shit. No shit. Full disclosure, I am the Bad Dragon. I am the Bad Dragon. My cock is what's used as the basis for all of the dragon dildos. So if you've ever purchased a dragon dildo, you've had, in some form or fashion, my cock in your ass, in your mouth, in your ear, in your vagina, wherever you've put it, in your nose. Heard stories about that. In your empty eye socket. Had a vet who lost his eye and liked to fuck the eye hole with the dragon dildo. He had to get the real small one because his eye hole, there's something about the way that his skull collapsed in on itself. It's a real mess, but he really liked sticking in the eye hole there.
It is curious that you knew of Bad Dragon. I didn't know that was a thing until I just Googled it incognito.
Like I said.
Be
Jackie,
careful out there, homies.
Jackie, you're going to learn things about me. So, yeah, I'm not the owner. I stepped away from owner. I got the ball rolling, but yeah, I guess I should have said that in episode 1, but here we are, episode 2. My bad. Goes on to say, what does it matter? Can't people work? I think he's kind of paraphrasing what other people might say in relation to him calling this out. Sure, people can work. Absolutely. But it's helpful and honest to know if opinions are based on facts or where the paycheck is coming from, especially in this kind of realm. It would be odd to learn that somebody was working for Berkshire Hathaway and then was constantly talking about how you should buy this stock or that stock or things that Berkshire Hathaway had holdings of. You go, oh, well, no wonder you were speaking so well of Coca-Cola and McDonald's and whatever else that Berkshire is holding, Apple, or I think they sold some Apple stock, but not all of it. Anyhow, here's Vivek for real, which I've tweeted some of his stuff. I had no idea. I thought he was just a dude posting stuff. I had no idea that almost 6 companies pay me here and there for my contract work. So I don't think I don't know what he's referring to here. It's okay. I just want to let you know I posted and deleted the tweet. I deleted without someone's order. And don't hate Swan/you, of course, therefore the tweet initially. Don't know what that's about, but if he's being paid by almost 6 companies for different tweets and different stuff that he's doing, that should be known. It should be, he should say like what the work is for. Because of people's money being involved, I guess. It really comes back to
on how much of an influence he is.
I guess. I still think it's the correct human thing to do, the right, honest thing to do, to say what you're doing and why you're doing it and who's paying you to do these things.
Sure. It brought to mind, I've seen in a number of Twitter profiles, the phrase, it's more or less, opinions expressed are solely my own, or this is all my original thought. This isn't an opinion of my employer, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if it is your own stuff, that'd be extra slimy, is if it is your own stuff and then you have say all opinions of my own, et cetera, and then it comes out that you're being paid by River and Swan, and it has nothing to do with me disliking or liking companies. Like that has nothing to do with it. I might like a company, but I still want to know that the reason you're saying all these positive things is because of your sponsorship by them. Every Bitcoin podcast where, like Preston Pish, where he says, people ask me all the time, I don't know if that's true, but whatever, people have probably asked him where he gets his Bitcoin, and the answer I always tell him is River. All right. Now we know that the reason he's speaking positively, if he does during a podcast about River, is because he has a direct relationship where they're paying him some amount of money to say these things. Got it. Understood.
Conversely, if you were to speak poorly of any other company who does a similar thing, you might be able to draw the conclusion as to why he might do that. But I don't think I've heard him speak poorly of any companies.
Because, like if you were to say something negative about, I don't know,
Swan.
Robin Hood or Swan, yeah.
Yeah.
You might think, it's because he's being paid by River to say those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that it's typical in the business space. Well, maybe. I just haven't ever encountered it where somebody is being paid to speak poorly of another company. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. I'm certainly not going to say that. I'm sure it does. Okay, I can't be sure because I don't know examples, but I would be dumbfounded if it doesn't happen.
I imagine for legal reasons, it's generally avoided.
Yeah.
Like defamation comes to mind.
That's true. But there is something to be said if I had a negative experience with a company, yeah, it gets into a wacky area. Like, let's say, for example, this hasn't happened. I'm trying to think of something where I have definitely had a negative experience with a company. Okay, Airbnb. This definitely happened. This has absolutely happened twice with Airbnb. Fucking Airbnb. Goddamn. So I went on a trip during the middle of the pandemic to this tiny home. I was out in the middle of the kind of fucking nowhere. And when I got there, the place was, I wouldn't say was filthy, but it definitely, unquestionably needed to be cleaned. And this was not a large place. It wouldn't have taken somebody that was a cleaner more than an hour, 2, to clean this place. And I'm not talking like a deep clean. It needed a sweep. The sinks needed to be wiped out. The counters needed to be wiped down. There's just kind of a fine layer of dust everywhere, like it hadn't been used in a while. You ever go into a garage or somebody's workplace and there's just that layer of dust? It was like that. Maybe the windows hadn't been closed or something. It was relatively warm out, so maybe they thought, we'll leave the windows open. All right, great, but it doesn't really help. Crud on the ground. There was just some smudges here and there. I think the bathroom toilet needed to get a scrub. The shower needed to be cleaned out. Again, not filthy, but clearly needed to be cleaned. Contacted the people like, hey, especially in the middle or the very beginning stages of COVID, where everybody's like, what is going on? This is all weird. And that's part of the reason that I went on the trip was to get out. And it was like, well, let's just kind of get out of the city. And not because I was worried about things happening in the city. It was just like, let's just go somewhere, get out of the city, relax for a few days, and just kind of sit in the woods. That was my thinking there. It wasn't like a paranoia, like, we got to head to the woods because the mobs are coming. It was nothing like that. It was just like, let's just go fucking chill for a few days. This is maybe middle of 2020. So, like I said, early days of the pandemic. Well, the person was like, "Oh, well, we had a cleaner come out there." There was all this refusal initially. I was kind of like, "There's no apology." I was like, "Look, during where we're at in time right now, I don't think you get to make an excuse of, oh, it's clean enough. We had a cleaner come out there. I'm sending you pictures of it not being clean. The very least you could do is say, really sorry about that. We understand how you might be concerned about the cleanliness of things, and we'll at the very least refund your cleaning deposit. I took multiple back and forths and threats that I was going to contact, like it wasn't even threats. It's like, I have to contact Airbnb now and send them these pictures to say that you didn't clean the place. And this is escalating. And it got to the point where they were saying things like, well, if that's not the place for you, then they recommended some resort in the area. Maybe that would be more clean to your standards. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? There was another time that we were at an Airbnb place in a completely different area, completely different state. And we had homeless people coming to the door. Well, I thought they were homeless people. I'm at the door. Bang, bang, bang. Hi. Hey, can you help me move a couch? What? Like, some hoopily looking person asking me to help move a couch. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Where? Oh, I'm below you. There's people below me? I didn't know there was even any. Wait, what? Go around the stairs. Oh, look, there's this whole little, like, snuck around little side entrance. I thought it was just like storage under the house. No, there's people down there. What the fuck? Oh, okay. There's a whole, like, not finished basement area asking me to help move this couch that was on one side. They wanted help moving it onto another side. Just like, the fuck is going on here? What is happening? So contacted Airbnb about that and complained, and I don't remember that anything came of it. Maybe I don't even think anything happened. But I'm happy to share negative experiences that I've had with Airbnb and how the prices are astronomically high compared to what they were. I remember 5 or so years ago where you could jump on Airbnb and you'd find a room or a whole apartment for half of what you would spend at even a Motel 6, because people are trying to get out there and like, oh, this is a great idea. Most people were thinking, sure, I'll rent out the place that I own. I've got the spare bedroom that I can make $10 on, $20, whatever. And you could find some great deals. Not now. Fucking forget about it. And if the house is interesting or nice, you're going to pay 10 times as much. Like, look, let's just let's pull up an air. Let's try that. Airbnb. Look at this. Watch this. This is such absolute horseshit. Let's go. Let's say San Diego, California. We'll go from the let's go a couple months from now. So we'll say June 10th through let's go a whole week. We're going to go a week in San Diego. All right. And so this is some bullshit right here. Let's just check this out. See how this $110 a night, $955 total. This is for an apartment here in this nifty looking place here. Do you even get the entire rental unit? Doesn't look all that bad. Looks kind of a neat place, but you're looking at a final price of $955. All right, let's see what we can get a week. Hotels.com here and see. Let's say the same thing. San Diego, California. What do we say the dates were here? 6/10 through 6/17. Okay, 6/10 to 17th. Done. Let's just say one traveler. You're not coming, Jackie. Hotels. Okay, 80. We have 3 left. Is this the total? $185? No. Okay, there's $1,400 total. All right. So let's say price per night is. Let's drop this down to max $100 a night. Motel 6, Chula Vista, stay classy hostel. This one, you could stay there for $406 at a hostel. You've got all these options, 800, 7 Travelodge by Wyndham, San Diego. Okay, this one looks halfway decent. It's fine. It's a room. Yeah, this one right here. Okay, it's a room with a bed. You got the little fridge there. It's kind of what you'd expect. Nothing fancy, nothing great, not amazing. For $200 less. Let's see what do we have to do to get to that price point on Airbnb. Show 1,000. Yeah, right. No. Is there nothing for that amount? Come on. Hello. Work with me. Entire home. Okay, you got a place here with like a fucking a toaster, and it's about the same thing. An apartment. I am honestly surprised that you can get a whole apartment here. I wonder if the prices have dropped. So for $715 total before taxes. Okay, still got taxes here. I don't know if these include the taxes in that. This includes taxes and fees. So we're still not beating it. Point to all this is that the prices with Airbnb are dumb and you don't know what you're getting. I'm pretty confident that when I stay at even a place, Travelodge by Wyndham, San Diego, near the SeaWorld, even though it's a 2-star, I'm pretty confident that I am getting what I'm seeing here. With Airbnb, who fucking knows? Because the rating system is such bullshit. It's such bullshit. It's most of it's lies because, oh, you're not going to see what they say until you say what you say. And then there's this whole kind of behind the scenes and they've got a review period. And so everybody just believes 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. It doesn't mean anything.
In the hopes that they get 5 stars.
Yeah, it's at this point, it's everything is 5 stars is acceptable. 4 stars, whoa. That's borderline avoid. And then anything else is just a nightmare. You will die going here. You'll be murdered. 3-star means you'll be murdered, and your wife will be raped in front of you. Your children will be stolen and shipped off to Epstein Islands. 2-star, your whole state is being overtaken by North Korea. You will be locked in a gulag, and you will be living with dragon dildos up your nose and just creaming your ass for all time. You'll somehow be perpetually kept alive. And 1-star. There's no human capability of conceiving how horrendous that is. You just burn everything, nuke the sun in the world. 1-star? You left a 1-star review? Is this literally Pol Pot and Satan and Hitler all mixed into? How are you alive? This inconceivable travesty to 1 star. Oh, even saying 1-star is beyond anything that I can even begin to wrap my head around. There's no words, no litany of Latin word. Impossible. Look what it does to me to even try and say the word 1-star. It would turn into a gibbering mass of muddled bullshit. That's the review system now. 5 stars acceptable. You won't die. It's fine. 4 stars. Whoa. And then you heard me go through all the rest. Yeah, we're going to call it there.